Hey, welcome to today's show. Today we're going to make a counter for the backyard. Maybe it'll be a T-bar, who knows. But in today's segment I'm going to show you how I straighten up my rough cut boards. Let's have a look at these boards. Alright, I'm going to use cedar. There they are. Straighten the ends. And then I'm going to plane them. And then I'm going to cut them to length. Typically, if the boards were narrower, I wouldn't plane them right away. I would just cut them straight and glue them together and then plane them after, because then it just saves me a step of sanding. But these are all 8 inches wide. This one's 6, so most of them, if I glue two together, they won't go through my planer anyway. So right now I'm just going to get them ready to plane, and then we'll cut them up. Let's have a look at my planer. Oh, that's not, it's still in there. Then for the ends, to square the ends, I'm going to use my radial arm saw. I squared it up already. You know, probably no one has a radial arm saw anymore, but mine works fine. So I haven't traded it in for a miter saw. But you know, this one's 30 years old. It's probably 40 years old now and still works fine, so why get rid of it? Okay, we'll get started. There we have it, rough cup, that's the front. Those two there will be the inside shelves. We should be able to make the sides out of those scrap pieces. Now we're gonna plane these bad boys. See how that turns out. Alright, we're gonna plane these down. Make sure you start with your planer quite a bit higher than it needs to be, and then just work a little bit down at a time. If you bought lumber, well, then you don't have to worry about playing it. And sometimes I would glue a bunch together, but my planer's 12 inches and these boards are at least 8, so it doesn't pay for this time. Just run a couple through. Oh, it's nice, the wind shifted, blew the dust all back in our face. 2 passes on each side, it's 3/4. My planer, you can lock her down so you don't go too low. Set it wherever you want. Alright, we're done planing now. Now we'll go. Okay, we're here at the table saw. You can rip these perfectly straight a couple different ways. You can draw a straight line and rip that freehand. Then flip it to the fence, put that side on the fence, and then the next side should be perfectly level, straight, then flip it back again. But for these shorter ones, I just made a jig here, clamps down, and it fits in the track here, and then you can just cut it perfectly straight, and it will be perfectly straight because it's right in here, right in the groove of your table saw. So let's rip one of these. Remember, earplugs, safety glasses. See, that's going to be perfectly straight. Put it on the bit. It's perfect. You just have to do one side of each board with the clamp. And then the next time, we'll put it against the fence. We'll do all of our boards like this first. So you can see, it's a bit time consuming, but that edge is perfectly straight. I don't know if I showed you before. I have adjustments on here. I just measured equal side and slide her through. Now we have the other side to do. Let's get at her. It took a little bit of time. There's what's left, the scraps. And here these are. Let's have a look. You put them together. Perfectly straight. Yeah, so that's what you can do. See that? Perfectly straight. So it takes a little time up front. But then you don't have to tweak it up when you're putting them together so much. Okay, that's how you square up the board for laminating for a table or a bench or a bar or whatever you're building. That doesn't matter. That's how I do it. There's lots of ways. Well, if you like that show and you found it interesting, be sure to just subscribe and hit the like button. If you have a comment that'll help others, please leave it. Later.